a Global News award-winning program. You're watching Morning News on Global Winnipeg.
7:23 on the Morning News on Global Winnipeg. Thank you for being with us on this Thursday with the long weekend, hopefully for you, ahead. I am next to John Schmitke, who is Canada's Hemophilia champion. Congratulations / I'm sorry. I don't know where to go with that entirely. But thank you for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right. World Hemophilia Day is today. I suspect most people know what hemophilia is, but maybe don't know how much it's changed from, say, your father's generation to your generation.
Yeah, so hemophilia has obviously changed a lot. I don't know that most people know what it is. People kind of have this misconception that hemophilia is if you get cut, you don't stop bleeding, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
But it's the internal bleeding that is the problem. So when you bleed into your joints, it breaks down your cartilage and can cause arthritic symptoms.
Okay.
So that's the real problem. And as far as for my father's generation, or my grandfather's, the way that it actually transfers along, the medication is much different. We treat prophylactically, and just the quality of care is much higher.
So back in the day, say in your grandfather's generation, they would treat as it happened, but you would take a regular course of medication.
Yeah, exactly. So on demand was the previous treatment thought, and today it's prophylactic. So we try to keep that factor level higher throughout your entire life.
Now, basically, the goal of World Hemophilia Day, one, to educate people, and two, to let everybody know, hey, if my daughter has hemophilia, he or she can still live a very active lifestyle.
Exactly. So, and that's a big part of the Hemophilia Champions program, is it takes role models, and they...
You are one in this case, yes, I understand. Yeah.
And we just go and talk to people and show them that you can live that normal life. And again, we get into the details of how we actually accomplish that.
Okay.
And share that with those families and those other hemophiliacs.
Looking at yourself and me, you have hemophilia, I don't. You are clearly in much better shape than I am. You've clearly kept an active lifestyle in your 3 decades.
I don't know. So there is a video that you actually showed a little bit like prefacing this, and working out has been a big part of how I take care of myself and my treatment for my hemophilia, because the fitter you are, it is a physical disease, right? The fitter you are, the less it affects you. And that is a big part of my role in the Hemophilia Champions program, is to share that experience with people.
Just from talking with you before we came on here, we were talking about how much hemophilia has changed, or the treatments that you're going to be able to live much longer than, say, someone 25 years older who had hemophilia. Yeah,
exactly. And again, it all comes down to quality of care, access to medication, the types of medications that are available.
And then you're kind of going to be in uncharted ground, because people with hemophilia traditionally died earlier than, say, people without hemophilia.
Yeah. So the typical old age diseases that hemophiliacs never had to deal with before, my generation is going to have to start dealing with. So things like heart disease is obviously a big one, diabetes, those types of things. Yeah.
So now you are off to the World Hemophilia Conference in Australia in May.
You bet.
What's going to happen there? How big is it, and what's going to happen?
I don't know what's going to happen. It's fairly big. There's thousands of people, 120 different countries from around the world attend. Again, I don't really know what is going to happen.
Yeah.
But there's physicians, patients, social workers, anyone that would be involved in the bleeding disorders community is going to be there.
When you go and you meet people, what will you want to tell them about hemophilia?
So because there are 120 different countries, hemophilia is very different around the world. So I'm just going to try to show people less fortunate what hemophilia can be like.
Yeah. I suspect it's a much bigger deal. Canada, we're quite advanced in our healthcare system. In some of these other 150 countries, it's a much bigger deal.
Yes, yeah. It's much more difficult to live with, but it is still possible. And again, through physical fitness, it's one of the things that I advocate, and that's one of the things that really helps. So,
John, thank you.
Shout out my Twitter?
Please do, yes, by all means.
Frogs Eat Flies is my Twitter.
Okay.
Hemophilia MB is the Manitoba chapter's Twitter, and there's a video up on there if anyone wants to go ahead and take a look at that. That'd be great.
Fantastic, John. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks again.
On World Hemophilia Day. It is 7:27 now. We go to Justine Rucci in Skyview 1 with a look at traffic. Justine?
Thanks, we're moving along okay. We just still have that one stall northbound St. Anne's at Nyakwa, and it is in your median lane facing the wrong direction. So just watch out for that white car again northbound St. Anne's if you're about to leave, and taking a look right